some of the facets, some of the things which need to be brought into is the work of Eisen, which he did in 1991 and in 1965, where he introduced the theory of planned behavior, where he talks about the move towards subjective norms and perceived behavioral control, which led to the development of the technology acceptance model. You'd be surprised that most of the e-commerce models which has been researched in the last 20 years are based on this Jeffen and Straub's technology acceptance model, which brings up two things. That one is the perceived ease of usefulness and the perceived usefulness. Now, when you come up with a new model or a new idea in digital transformation, you have to figure out what is the benefits that will accrue from that technology. And I believe that most of you have figured out that your issues are with relating to the learning effects of this country. People are not well educated in terms of how to use this technology. The gentleman from Chico, he was making it very clear that he does have a client base, but it's very limited and you do not have that amount of money to spend on this type of ventures. So instead of focusing on you guys to reduce the cost, it does affect the telcos in terms of their revenue, but I would say that you come up with new avenues, new innovations. And one of the good areas of this innovations is that you focus on the learning effect of the people of this country. When you bring up this learning effect of the people in this country, I'm sure you can enhance the technology that you're trying to spread in this country. Thank you very much. I wish we have our speakers down here, the Honorable Chairman, Honorable Secretary. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, may we listen from the Secretary ICT, Mr. C. Shaidar Chaudhary.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Chairman BTRC, এবং সমবেত সুধীবৃন্দ, আসসালামু আলাইকুম and very good afternoon. It's a pleasure, আমার তরফে একটা pleasure to be here with you with a vast learned audience. It's not a roundtable, it's like a stakeholders consultation. So I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to BTRC এই ধরনের একটা আয়োজন করার জন্য। এবং I was writing. I believe I already filled up few pages. I took all notes of all the important points, and in my understanding, all the points discussed here are important to me, especially as a Secretary ICT Division. And I start with a very recent observation from one of my colleagues. He's a former commandant, MIST. He was saying to take care of the acts and rules, and that is concerned the telecom part. That's not my part, so I will be passing on your request to the other secretary. He is a telecom secretary, so he's not here today, so I'll definitely be passing on. I'm responsible for some other acts like erstwhile Digital Security Act, subsequently the Dormant Cyber Security Act. This is we are working on it, and I believe that within a month or so we will be getting a firm position of the government. Afterwards we'll be working. We are still not very sure that whether there will be reshape or this will be defunct totally. So whatever the decision comes from the government, we will be definitely taking care of the things. Coming back to today's discussions on the leveraging the power of telecom for escalating digital services. So all my friends are basically discussing what the digital services are, so I am not focusing in that area. But the thing is that the points came up here concerning, beforehand I would like to say that with the emergence of power of the industry and combined efforts from the industry, academia and the government, the level of digital divide is basically squeezing. Nowadays we can say it's the time to bridging up, and bridging up activity is going on. Say for example, if you ask me what is the role of the ICT division, then I will be saying that yes, I'm responsible for, or my division is responsible for different attached bodies and departments, the DPIs, focusing on the DPIs, digital public infrastructure, the capacity building, and the other issues are the data storage, either in the data center or in cloud mode, all these things, and importantly, the cyber security. So this is the month of cyber security. We call it a cyber security month. Month of October is a cyber security month. So we are also taking care of all these issues, and we have got one directorate called National Cyber Security Agency. It's a attached body of ICT division. We are taking care of all these things. So concerning the observations of my friends, I am also echoing about the prices of the hardware as well as the prices of the internet facilities. It's pretty high. So what we can do, or what the regulators can do. So the already convened a stakeholders consultation. All the points are well taken care of and will be well taken care of by the BTRC authority, and they have taken note of it, and I myself also taking note of it to discuss with the concerned authorities, because you know the present government led by Professor Muhammad Yunus is very keen to see the reforms in different sectors, and telecom and the ICT is not away from that one. So we have been instructed to do so many things. In my division, I have got 21 running projects. Those were responsible for the DPIs and capacity building, as well as for the data center, cyber security issues, and many of the activities. For the time being, the government instructed to go slow and fridge because of the digging out the level of corruptions took place for the last 15 years. And we are working very hard on this, and within a very short span of time, you will be definitely updated with the results of different committees formed to identify and dig out all the deviations took place over the past 15 years. So this is one. The other one is that the IPOs are here, ESPs are here. Unfortunately, MFS are not here. So combining all these things, one of our friends were talking about the umbrella arrangement. Yes, this is what the amount of time, because the data, what we are talking about, data is the main thing, but this data uniformity is a very big concern. And when there is the absence of uniformity is there, so interoperability is also a big concern. So we must go for these things. And if the common wallet is there, you see, I was in Cairo 2-3 weeks back in a DPI summit, and I was talking in the sideline discussions with many of the countries like Estonia, small countries, Estonia, Singapore. They are very much comfortable in this area. We have got a very huge number of population. We may have to struggle a little bit, but it's not impossible, because if we see the industry sectors, our industries are highly promising and everywhere, and we need to see a good combination of government, academia and industries, and through which we can come to a very fruitful conclusion concerning the access to the data, access to the devices, and access to the services provided by different areas. And the thing is that through the capacity building activities, the ICT division is going for the awareness campaign among the mass people through different projects. Because if you see the people must know what are the services available. Say, for example, the health service issue. The majority of the people doesn't know that health is a service to be provided to the mass people. They can think that if we go to the hospital or a doctor, we have to pay a huge amount of money. So many of the cases it is identified that the patient is not reporting on time, and they report only when this is the situation is a very critical one. So these are the things because of the fact these things are not conveyed to them properly and in a proper manner. So coming back to the leveraging the power of telecom, I think this is the high time. The interim government, through this reform activities, so leveraging the power of telecom and for escalating the digital services. And we know the digital services, if we talk about the e-commerce, if we talk about the cloud computing, then social media, then financial services, and education, all these things. My friend was talking about, the friend from Chico was explaining how they are related to them. So to get the best services, today is the right forum from where we have taken some points. Definitely we'll be conveying all these things to the appropriate authority, so that the hardware issues are taken care of concerning the price. I'm just setting an example. The other day, I was roaming around in the market to buy a mobile phone from one of my relatives. So I went inside the Samsung outlet, and I found that the price is 220,000, the S24 Ultra. Then one gentleman was asking me in my ear, if you go to the Pundura city and go to the gadget, yes, basement, Apple gadget, you will be getting huge amount of discount. I took the opportunity and I went there and I got it at just half the price, 110,000. Yesterday, I think my friend from Telecom Ministry is here. Yesterday, His Excellency, the Ambassador of South Korea, made the honorable advisor, and he was talking about the NEIR. He's saying that, yes, we are producing Samsung phone locally, but not getting the proper market where the imported things, he didn't mention how it is imported. Imported things are sold at a half price. So these things has to be taken care of. One of my friends was saying NEIR will enable the people to more and more. But here, more things to be addressed. The regulatory impediments will have to be addressed, and so that it's high time on the part of the PTRC to have a very threadbare discussions with the Central Bank, National Board of Revenue, ICT Division, and some other stakeholders to provide the best services to the recipients, and the intermediaries, my friends from the industries, can also come forward. So with these few words, I think I talked a lot. With this word, I'd like to conclude, and thank you very much once again, Chair BTRC, for inviting me and organizing a wonderful session wherein my takeaways are huge. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. May I now request Chairman BTRC to speak something and also express the vote of thanks.
I think I'll stand taller here. Indeed, I feel taller. I feel enlightened, proud, satisfied. We can stand before you today, all young, talented, brilliant, courageous entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, the leaders of the digital industry of Bangladesh. I feel myself young. Today, ICT Division, Mr. Shishada Choudhury, and the leaders of the digital industry and regulators. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. First of all, you have to check how his handset got accepted in the network. And next, let me thank Wasim for setting the tone very rightly, very nicely. And thank you all for coming here today and sharing freely your ideas here. I was tasked to reform telecom, but I thought, let us first understand what is the form before we start reforming. Last week, we had such consultation with telco industry, and then we realized the output is digital service, and we have no voice of digital service. And now I hear that last 20 years, such forum never occurred. Slowly and gradually I come to that. I'll take a little longer time. Despite the title being leveraging, etc., 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 Actually, the underlying purpose was identifying gaps. Gaps of understanding, gaps of expectation, even gaps of language. And I find today we actually speak pretty different languages at times. Identifying the gaps actually was the main purpose of this session today. And I have identified quite a few. I will narrate a few of them as my taking. And first of all, I think, and most important gap that I identified is the generation gap. Let me explain. Just day before yesterday, under the sweet autumn sun, শনিবার সকালে বারান্দায় বসে জুতা পলিশ করছি। My junior school going son আস্তে করে sneak in করে জুতাটা আমার কাছে দিয়ে গেল পলিশ করার জন্য। So I thought, as a dad, I must teach him a lesson. So খুব humbly একটু ভাব নিয়ে বললাম যে look, when I was at your age, শুধু জুতা পলিশ তো করতাম তা না, আমরা নিজেদের জুতা রিপেয়ার করতাম, বুক বাইন্ডিং করতাম, এইসব যত কাজ আছে সব আমরা করতাম। I didn't see him being puzzled. Very humbly, without any concern, আস্তে করে বললো, at our age, we get these mundane things done by professionals. Instead, আমরা আমাদের সময় নিয়ে কি করি? We make PowerPoints, we make graphic design, we make coding, we work with making small robots, etc., etc., etc. বলে সে চলে গেল। Now, seeing my dad talk fell flat on the ground, then I was thinking, something has really got changed. Huge change has occurred between my generation and that of yours. That's a topic itself, and I think I can go on hours on this. I'll bring only two most relevant change. আপনাদের ক্যামেরাগুলি যে এই পাশে চলে আসে, I can see, আমি বাকিদেরকেও দেখতে পারবো, আপনাদের অসুবিধা হবে না। আপনার ক্যামেরাগুলি কাইন্ডলি এই পাশে নিয়ে আসেন। Probably the most relevant and most significant change that occurs between these two generations. One is multitasking, another is handling multiplicity of choice. In our case, আমাদের সময় আমাদেরকে সারা বছর লেখাপড়া না করে পরীক্ষার আগে বসে পড়লেই হতো। সারা বছর মাল্টিটাস্কিং এর কোনো সময় ছিল না, দরকার ছিল না। Couple of weeks দরজা বন্ধ করে পড়লে should have been good enough. So we were trained with focusing, একটা unitary mind নিয়ে। আমাদের সময় multiplicity of choice আমরা ফেস করি নাই, because we had only one channel which is called BTV, এবং সে যা দেখাতো তাই দেখতে হতো। আমাদের শুধু একটা ডিসিশন নিতে হতো, আমি এটা দেখবো কি দেখবো না। We are not confronted with anything else. So আমাদেরকে ডিসিশন মেকিং এর অত স্কিলও দরকার ছিল না। Had looked at technology. Our mind was simple, technology was simple, but with that we have made our life complicated. Let me explain. আমাদের সময় তখন কমিউনিকেশনের জন্য একটা জিনিস ছিল টেলিফোন, ভয়েস টেলিফোন। ওটার উপরে আবার যে গোল্ড ডায়াল থাকতো, which you call legacy or whatever it is, সেটার উপর আবার একটা ফিজিক্যাল লক তালা দেওয়া থাকতো, so that কেউ এসে ইয়ে করতে না পারে। So when we were teen, যখন আমাদেরকে এরকম অনেক কল করার দরকার হয়েছিল বিভিন্ন কারণে, so we learned the technique of Morse code. ওই যে ক্রেডেলের উপরে টাক 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 করে আমরা এরকম আবার কল করতে পারতাম, তালা মারা থাকলেও আমরা কল করে ফেলতে পারতাম। Was the beginning of the network here, আমাদের এখানে। From there, আমাদের এখানে এই যে মোবাইল কমিউনিকেশনগুলো আসলো, they have flourished not because of mobility, they have flourished because of connectivity. আমাদের দরকার ছিল তখন কানেক্টিভিটি, কারণ আমরা কানেক্টিভিটিটাকে ছড়াতে পারছিলাম না। এই কানেক্টিভিটিতে উপজীব্যটা কি, বিজনেসটা কোথায়? বিজনেসটা হচ্ছে ভয়েস, দিস কানেক্টিভিটি। দেন কেম ইন সামথিং কল আইপি। এই আইপি যখন আসলো, ইন্টারনেট যখন আসলো, আমরা 3Gও লঞ্চ করলাম। আমরা ভাবলাম ইন্টারনেটটা হচ্ছে ওইরকম ভয়েসের মতো আরেকটা প্রোডাক্ট। This is where I want to ask you to ponder on something else. As a technocrat, I understand that understanding the potential of a technology in time, it needs a special blessing. এরকম একটা দুটা কথা এখানে উঠে আসছে, প্রিন্টিং প্রেসের কথা উঠে আসছে। ফরগেট অ্যাবাউট প্রিন্টিং প্রেস। আমি আমাদের জীবনে যেটা দেখলাম, আই রিমেম্বার ইন আর্লি 90s যখন ডিশ টিভি দেশে চালু করা শুরু হলো, রাস্তায় রাস্তায় মিছিল নামলো, অপসংস্কৃতি ভরে যাবে দেশ, ডিশ টিভি যেন চালু করা না হয়। ইন্টারনেট যখন আসলো তখন আমরা দেখলাম ইন্টারনেট ওয়াজ জাস্ট অ্যানাদার সার্ভিস। একটা সময় যে ইন্টারনেট will become a realm in itself, hardly any people understood. এটা শুধু বাংলাদেশে না, সব জায়গায়। এটাকে সামারাইজ করা যায় বা থিওরাইজ করা যায় যেভাবে, যেটা আমাদের পরেও কাজে লাগবে, সেটা হচ্ছে সে লুক ব্যাক, জুল ভার্ন যখন সাবমেরিনের কথা লিখেছিলেন, নো সাবমেরিন এক্সিস্টেড ইন দ্য ওয়ার্ল্ড, ইট ওয়াজ এ কনসেপ্ট, একটা ধারণা, একটা কল্পনা। And then 80 years later, submarine was invented. It was realized, so it became a reality. So we had a concept, but we did not have the thing. Then we have a thing and a concept. We know what to do with the submarine. But what if you have something in reality, but you do not have the concept for it? What do you call it? We call it latent, সুপ্ত। সেই জিনিসটা চোখের সামনে আছে, কিন্তু আমরা জানি না এটাতে কি করতে হবে। It happened. Look at biofuel. বায়োফুয়েল ফর মেনি ইয়ার্স চোখের সামনে গ্রিজ হিসাবে ব্যবহার করছি, আমরা জানিও না যে একটা দিন এই বায়োফুয়েলের জন্য সারা পৃথিবীতে মানে এন্টায়ার হিউম্যানিটির রেসটা চেঞ্জ হয়ে যাবে, আমরা জানতাম না। দ্যাট ওয়াজ লেটেন্ট। ইন্টারনেট ওয়াজ সামথিং লেটেন্ট অ্যাট দ্যাট টাইম। টুডে এআই ইজ সামথিং লেটেন্ট ইন দ্যাট কনটেক্সট। উই ডু নট নো, ইভেন দ্য এক্সপার্টস, আই ডাউট whether the experts know the true fathom of AI or not. So কেন আমি